This video is going to tell you exactly what you need to do to avoid prediabetes. I recently did a podcast interview that I'll link to below with one of my members who found out she was pre-diabetic right when she signed up for the program. But she took consistent action and was able to lower her blood sugars to a normal range in just 8 weeks. So if you're borderline pre-diabetic, know that this does not have to take you forever to reverse, and it certainly doesn't require medications. With a few simple lifestyle changes, you'll be well on your way to lower blood sugar readings. If diabetes runs in your family and you're worried that you're destined to get it, let me tell you this is absolutely not the case. It's not true, and there is so much you can do to prevent this condition. I'm going to break this information down into different sections. First, we'll briefly cover cutoff blood sugar and A1C values for prediabetes and diabetes. Then I'll teach you how you can check your blood sugars at home. No need to go to the doctor's office. And finally, we'll get to the information you need to know and the steps you need to take to stay healthy and keep your blood sugars in normal ranges, including the types of foods you should include in every meal. Be sure to watch all the way till the end of this video, where I'll tell you how to download a free 55-minute in-depth training about how to reverse insulin resistance, to lose weight, and prevent disease. If you haven't already, it would mean so much to me if you took a moment to subscribe to my channel and turn the bell on to get notified every time I post a new video. Also, be sure to leave a comment or question in the comments below. I personally read and respond to them all. I'm Dr. Morgan Nolte, founder of Weight Loss for Health, and each week I publish new content to help you lose weight and prevent disease so you can just age well. As a geriatric physical therapist, I saw the end effects of type 2 diabetes and knew that so much could be done to prevent the condition in the first place. And that's exactly what I teach my members in my online course and community. Let's get started with part 1 of this video, and that's differentiating normal, pre-diabetic, and diabetic blood sugar and A1C levels. If you've never checked your fasting blood sugars before, you'll want to do a water fast, meaning you don't eat anything or drink anything except for water for 8 to 12 hours prior to when you're getting your blood checked. Now, I recommend not doing this first thing in the morning. Wait a couple of hours because your cortisol or stress hormone is highest in the morning, and this will cause a higher blood sugar reading. You can do this at the doctor's office, or I commonly recommend my course members purchase the Keto Mojo device so they can keep an eye on their glucose and ketone readings at home. I will link to that device in the description below this video. Your hemoglobin A1C is an average measure of your blood sugar over the last 3 months. The higher your A1C level, the poorer your blood sugar control and the higher your risk for diabetes complications. Here's a picture that outlines what are normal pre-diabetic and diabetic ranges for fasting blood sugar and A1C. Normal fasting blood sugars are between 70 and 99, although closer to 70 is better. Prediabetes is 100 to 125, and type 2 diabetes is 2 separate readings of 126 or higher. A healthy A1C is less than 5.7, prediabetes is 5.7 to 6.4, and diabetes is 6.5 and higher. Now that you have a better understanding of how to check your blood sugar and what range you're looking to be in, let's talk about several factors that can raise these blood sugar levels. Because if we want to prevent prediabetes, it's all about keeping those blood sugar levels low and preventing spikes. When people come to me looking to lose weight, they've often tried several different versions of the same approach of eat less, exercise more. It may be Jenny Craig, Nutrisystem, Weight Watchers, Optavia, Metabolic Research Center, you name it, I've had members who have tried it. I have to explain to them that eat less, exercise more doesn't work for sustainable weight loss because losing weight isn't about lowering calories, it's about lowering insulin. Insulin is your fat creation and storage hormone. One thing we need to look at to keep insulin low is keeping blood sugars low, because your blood insulin levels have a direct correlation to your blood sugar levels. So if you follow this advice, not only will you prevent prediabetes, you'll probably lose some weight, lower your blood pressure, triglycerides, etc. in the process, because it's all tied together with elevated insulin levels. There are 4 main pillars of wellness I teach about: food, fasting, sleep and stress, and movement. Let's dive into each of those briefly. First, I want to cover macronutrients. If you aren't familiar with this term, there are 3 main macronutrients, or just macros, that are important to understand: carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. In my course, I have an entire module dedicated to fuel and dive deep into how each macronutrient is used differently by the body and how they affect insulin levels. Under the carbs umbrella, there are 3 major types: sugar, starch, and fiber. Take a look at this picture that gives an overview of how each type of macronutrient affects insulin. Carbohydrates, specifically starches and sugars, have the biggest effect on your blood sugar and insulin levels, while protein and fat won't cause much of a blood sugar response, but protein still has a moderate blood insulin response. To prevent prediabetes, we want to have stable blood sugar levels, not spikes. So that means you're structuring your meals so that they have healthy fat, fiber, and protein with limited starches and sugars. That will keep this curve lower and reduce your average blood sugar level. For more info on what foods contain lots of fiber, healthy fat, and protein, download my ultimate food guide at weightlossforhealth.com/ultimate food guide. Another powerful way to lower your blood sugars is intermittent fasting. Again, I have an entire module in my course dedicated to this topic: how intermittent fasting helps with fat burning and autophagy for a disease prevention. As long as your medications don't cause lower blood sugars, your blood sugars will remain in a normal range with intermittent fasting. What happens then is you have no spikes from eating, and your blood sugar and insulin levels have the chance to fall below their normal baseline. This not only helps reduce your 3-month average, so you have a lower A1C, but it lowers your circulating insulin to help lower your body set weight too. Intermittent fasting is such a great technique because it's free and it means less cooking and cleaning. If you're new to intermittent fasting and want to try it out, be sure to watch this video next, where I walk you through how to get started. The next pillar in my program is controlling your stress and sleep. Again, weight loss is not about calories, it's about hormones. And chronic sleep deprivation and stress will raise your blood sugar levels. Many people underemphasize just how much underlying stress is contributing to their weight, but it's a serious problem. The sleep disturbances in middle age is one of the reasons that you can pile on weight in your 40s and 50s during perimenopause and menopause. I'd like to see a stat for weight gain in 2020 from all the stressors of COVID-19. But if you really focus and are mindful, there are many stress relieving things you can do to bring that cortisol and blood glucose down and help prevent prediabetes. The final pillar in my program is movement. I like to explain that blood glucose can either be pushed into your cells by insulin or pulled in by muscle demand. If you move, your muscles will use that glucose and your circulating levels will go down. That's one reason why a post-Thanksgiving meal walk is great for your health. Use up some of that extra energy you just ate before you go crash on the couch. Now, before we move on, I want to hear from you in the comments. Which one of these lifestyle factors do you feel like is your biggest struggle? What you eat, constant grazing or emotional eating, too much stress, not enough sleep, or lack of exercise and general movement? Type it in the comments below. Let's keep moving on with the steps I recommend to prevent prediabetes. One of the most helpful things I've found to taking control of your nutrition is tracking your food on a phone app. The one I use in my program is Carb Manager. I know that this can be a bit overwhelming, so I have a full how-to video series in my program for how to get it set up, what macronutrient ratios I recommend, etc. I want you to start tracking your food because you'll be shocked at how many carbs you're eating. Recently, I heard that most Americans are eating between 200 and 300 grams of carbs per day. The best science really recommends a lower carb diet, closer to 50 to 100 grams per day, depending on your personal characteristics and goals. The other thing you'll notice is a general lack of protein. If you're struggling with carb and sugar cravings, two of the best things you can do is cut out the added sugars and increase your protein. Tracking your food is great to actually see what you're eating and hold yourself accountable for what your eating habits truly are. Now, speaking of habits, that's the last thing I'm talking about today. I recommend the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. When we're talking about habits, there are a lot of theories and philosophies out there about how to stop bad habits and start good habits. Because really, that's what this is all about. You can't just diet and prevent prediabetes. You have to change your lifestyle, and that requires changing your habits. One of my favorite parts about my program are my master classes. These are in-depth trainings on specific sticking points that I noticed with my one-on-one weight loss clients. And without a doubt, changing habits is the hardest. I have an entire masterclass dedicated to this topic, but wanted to share my favorite tip with you in today's video. It's from Atomic Habits, and it's called an implementation intention. It's a mini goal you set at the start of each week, something that you commit to doing to keep the needle moving forward. A template you can use is I will insert behavior at insert time and location on insert date because insert reason. I use this technique to successfully stop my late night snacking habit. The implementation intention that worked for me was I will brush my teeth and keep water on hand every night right after dinner to stop snacking and increase my fasting window. It took a few months of consistency, but I was able to break my bad habit, and you can too. Now, speaking of masterclasses, I told you at the start of this video to watch all the way until the end of this video to get a free 55-minute training about how to lower insulin resistance and inflammation to lose weight and prevent disease. It's this masterclass right here. You can easily start my program for free by downloading it and watching this training. You'll learn why the calories in, calories out model for weight loss is dead wrong, and a ton of different strategies to help you lower your insulin. To download that today, just go to weightlossforhealth.com/masterclass. And if you just want to get started with my program to have full access to my proven weight loss system, go to weightlossforhealth.com/join. Let's recap those steps one more time. Number 1, know your fasting blood sugar level. Number 2, understand all the lifestyle factors that can affect blood sugar. Some of the big ones are what you eat, when you eat, your stress and sleep, and movement. Number 3, track your food. Number 4, use implementation intentions to set mini goals for yourself each week. I always want you to take action on these videos. Let me know what's one concrete step you're going to take in the next 48 hours to improve your health. Thank you so much for watching this video today. I hope you learned concrete steps you can take to prevent prediabetes so you never have to worry about taking blood sugar medication or getting diabetes down the road. Be sure to subscribe to this channel and turn the bell on to get notified when I post a new video. I'll see you soon in the next video.